Howdy. We're live yet? Fixing to be live. If we're not live yet, we're fixing to be. Oh, black screen. Black screen. Man in black. Yeah, I am sore, Ray. Oof. Yeah, I took some leave this morning. I think it helped a little. Oh. So, the world is rosy. I wonder what will happen today in my life. No picture. I know. It's this StreamYard on YouTube has done that off and on for almost a year now. So, yeah, we finally, yesterday was the last day of the auction pickup at the Waco High School. We took out as much as we could and left the rest. There were people unscrewing cabinets from walls and hauling those out. I'm like, man, I can't do that. And I left behind two good dishwashers too. I gave away 2 refrigerators, so there's just a limit to how much this old man can do, or how much I'm willing to spend to get help. So, how's Mike? Mike. It's Toddcast. I don't know where. See, now the picture is there, but it's still blurry. Pretty soon it'll clear up. It's been doing that. Morning, Jake. What? So, hey, Humstone. Welcome to the talk. The view. Not much of a view. Yeah, I haven't got a big topic today, except my life has been busy this week. Auction pickups and hauling heavy stuff. It's probably good for me. What's a dirty word? Work? Or busy? I've been too busy. Yeah, we got a lot of things going on. We're moving my mother-in-law back in with us because she's not doing well on her own. So there's that to still accomplish. Got a big box in the living room. Gwen bought a new recliner lift chair. So I got to unbox it today and put it together. And I'm way sore from all the hauling and lifting I did. Sheesh. But I'm sure everybody's got problems. It's retirement. If you still want to make money when you're retired, you're still going to do some work. I'm going to go to this health thing and see how many steps I've had. Let's see. So check it out. Saturday and Sunday I had almost 0 steps. Monday I had a few steps. And then Tuesday was the auction. Ba-bam! And then Wednesday I went back to the auction to pick up a whole bunch of stuff. Ba-bam! And then yesterday I went back to the auction to pick up a whole bunch of stuff. And ba-bam! How many? How funny. So I've had, for 3 days this week, I've had over 10,000 steps. And on top of that, it's not just the steps. I'm pushing a roller cart with heavy stuff on top of it. And once I get it out to the truck, lifting it up and loading it in the truck, man. Yeah, and just like that, I'm back in shape. It's going to take more than I did. I'll tell you what, though, I lost a pound. I stepped on the scales this morning and, hey, I lost a pound. Yay. Only 59 more pounds left to lose. And I'll be back in shape. Yeah. If I just keep buying, I'm definitely going to get in shape. But, so we got home with the haul from yesterday, and it wasn't going to rain, so I told Gwen and my boy, hey, this needs to go into the new storage unit I rented, but not today. So it's all still sitting in the pickup. Any cool finds in that haul? Oh, geez. Yeah. You heard about the fetal pigs, didn't you? So I didn't want to mess with the snakes in a jar and the earthworms and formaldehyde and stuff like that. And there were like 3 boxes of fetal pigs, for science classes to dissect. And my boy Gage goes, hey, Dad, I know a place here in town in Waco that sells creepy stuff. Like, I don't know what you would call it, like spooky, Halloween type stuff. It is gross. I said, I'll tell you what, if you want to mess with them, you can just have them all and go see if you can make a deal with that place. And he did. While we were loading up yesterday, he went over to that place and he sold all the pigs and snakes and snails, and there was even a hammerhead shark. And he sold them all to that place for $100. So if he's willing to hustle, do that little side hustle, yeah, he got himself $100. Yeah, oddity shop. That's kind of what it was. So yeah, I've got a shape. It's round. That's right, Steven, you little punk. Did he kick me back 20? No. No, I owe him. In fact, he made 2 full hauls. See, he's got his Suburban, and I've got my pickup. So Tuesday, I brought home a pickup load after the auction, and I got it unloaded Tuesday night. And then I talked him into going with me to the auction to pick up more stuff. So he brought his Suburban, we filled it, and we filled the pickup again. Then we said, man, there's a bunch more stuff. So, oh God, we got to come back again tomorrow. So again, yesterday, Thursday, after I got my packages shipped to the post office, we loaded up and went back and got a whole nother load of stuff. So that's a $25 late fee there, Tom. Yep.
Well, you're lucky I'm here at all, old man, because I have for a update on this damn computer, and then it blew out all my passwords, and then I had to start entering passwords to get to where I could get to the damn link. Okay.
Well,
bonjour.
You're retired. You haven't got anything better to do than mess with the internet.
Totally everything, eBay, YouTube, everything I'm logged out of.
So I don't know if you heard it, but Gage sold all those lab specimens and
I saw that.
fetal pigs.
Yes.
For $100. I thought, well, good for you.
So is that his pay for helping you?
No, I'm probably going to pay him some on top of that. I mean, we hauled a lot of stuff out of there. And there was so much I mean, if we had a crew, man, all the tables we left behind, stools, cabinets, left behind 2 dishwashers. And I gave away 2 refrigerators. Jeez. So I'm sore. I took some, not Advil. What's the other one?
Tylenol?
No.
Gabapentin?
No, I don't know. Whatever it was. I took 2 of those this morning. It's helping a little bit, I think. I couldn't hardly take my shower last night because I was so sore. When you put your foot up on the edge of the tub to dry your leg off, it was like, So, yeah, you screwed up your computer.
No, I didn't. They pushed a fix or update, and I'm just irritated.
How was your walk, honey? Humid. It's been humid here, which brings out the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
We had a big rain a couple of days ago. Oh, so great. Return approved. What am I getting returned? All right, got to go look. What did I screw up this time? Where's... What? Oh. Yeah. I sold a lot of 4 Rock Band games for PS2. And on my listing, I had written PS3. So that was my mistake. So yeah, they're sending them back, which is fine. Oof. If the guy had looked at the pictures, though, he could have asked the question because all of them say PS2 on the pictures.
Are you sure?
All right. Sorry, Gwen says I have to take the trash out. Today's trash day. Okay. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Lag. You waited till the show stops. It says, I'm a billionaire. There was a game I used to play, and it was on the Switch. The Switch. I started to say the Switch. Anyway, bells are what the currency is. And so, therefore, Roberta got me a t-shirt that says belly in there. And I have a coffee mug that says, "Bitch, you better have my bells." Fresh Prince of Bel in there. That's it. Like, can you use any external hard drive with a Mac product? Okay. Most buyers look at the photos and not the description. Yeah. Good morning, Maggie. Let's see who's all in here while Todd's going. Good morning, Hank. While he's doing his chores. Good morning, Mr. Bumcrack. Good morning, Silverhair. Oh, wake up, Tom. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, Harry. Hanky. Ping. Good morning. I think I got everybody. Lag, as always. Did I get everybody? Steven? Good to see you, buddy. I guess you're a buddy. Chess, how are you? Maggie. Oh, and there is even the bearded picker. Trouble afoot. Anyhow. Yeah, I went and found the things that sold yesterday. I had to get a storage unit and get them out. And I had to get some more of the labels for my label gun. So I found those, and I got some padded envelopes. That's all I've done. I should have known it was not going to be a good day or an easy day, because any day you're above ground is a good day. When I got into the storage facility, found the stuff I needed, was headed out of it, and there was a line of 6 cars in front of me, and nobody could get the gates to open. So we're all trying to punch our number. You know, one guy, the guy was sitting at the gate, it wouldn't take his number. Then we just all tried our numbers, tried remote opening the gate. None of it would work. And so while we were trying our numbers, this lady called and talked to the storage place, and they tried to remote open it and still couldn't. But the manager lives basically around the corner, so she ran over there, and she had to go inside the store and get the keys so she could, like bypass the automation on it and open it up. So I should have known the day was going to go downhill from that, because I didn't even turn my computer on before I left.
By the way, good morning, Leroy. Good morning, Hank. Good morning, Chastity. Good morning, Ping. Good morning, Lag. Good morning, Maggie. Good morning, Beard. Well, he left.
Excuse me.
So.
Did you say Leroy?
Yeah, that's Blood, Sweat, and Cell.
Oh, okay.
You don't know Leroy?
I can't say I do. I don't think he's been in on my show. I don't know. I'm not popular like you, Todd.
Oh, well.
I'm not a popular cool kid like you.
Leroy's pretty cool, I gotta admit. But we were stolen from at the auction.
What was stolen from you?
Well, we had a roller cart.
Right.
And we were stacking stuff on it. There was one of those like teacher roller carts. It was a nice one. It was made out of stainless steel. It was, 3 shelves.
Right.
And we were putting stuff on it and hauling it to the pickup. And then I found another roller cart, so I started using it too while Gage used the steel one. And we were working in 2 different rooms getting stuff out. And he called me and said, "Dad, have you got the steel roller cart?" I said, "No, I got this other one that I found." He said, "Well, it's not here where I left it." Well, crap. And then I went down there a little later and got to looking around. And, I had taken my tape gun and some boxes so that we could have boxes to carry stuff out. And they also took my tape gun. I'm like, well, those dirty dog freaking frack snacking crapping people. And we got to looking around, and also missing was a box of model rocketry stuff. Like Estes rockets.
Those damn resellers are nothing but a bunch of thieves.
And what else was missing? There was like 5 or 6 things. Oh, there was a stack of there was a whole case of those composition books. You like buy a composition book and write your reports in it.
Right.
Back when people used to write by hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a brand new case of those, and they were gone. I'm like, you golly.
Did you say something to the management?
No. Right on one of their clauses is, once it's sold, it's the owner's responsibility to protect it.
Well, that's not very cool, and that's not very grown up.
Well, I mean, that's been their policy for
I understand
a decade or more.
You shouldn't have to worry about people stealing your shit, though. Why,
Well, and they shouldn't have to worry about it either.
No.
But I mean, they can they can't hire guards to keep an eye on everything,
Well, what's to keep somebody that hadn't bought crap to coming in there and just loading up a damn truck and taking it off with them?
Well, that yesterday, pretty much not much.
Well, you should have went ahead and got you a big old U-Haul and just went and got it all at one time and got it over with.
But it still wouldn't have worked because I had bought 4 different classrooms of stuff, and one of the classrooms is on the 2nd floor. So there's no way to be,
right.
Unless I brought a crew of 20 people to load up. Man, that pissed me off. I mean, I don't know if they got any of the scales or microscopes or anything like that. I just don't remember what all could have gotten stolen, but I do know they got those books, they got the tape gun, they got the roller cart, and what else did I say? Anyway.
Well, you need to get...
That's just low life,
It is.
What the hell?
I'm glad to see that Texas has got its trash, too.
Well,
like
Waco's worse than here. That wouldn't happen in my town.
Okay.
Somebody would shoot you in my town.
Lag, what are those Apple things that you put on? You can put in luggage or your wallet and it tracks it. AirTags. Thank you, honey. Not you. Roberta said she told me what it was. It looks like honey. It looks like you need to start get you some of those and put them on all your equipment before you leave, so you can track it if you have to.
Oh my God, there was so much stuff. There's no way to put a tracker on everything.
No, I'm talking about on your tape gun and your. No, was it trolleys that you bought, or the carts were the ones that you bought in the rooms?
Yeah, they were in the rooms to take or leave.
Bastards.
I know. They were mine.
I hope they get
It's just outright theft.
I hope they get a terrible paper cut off of that tape gun.
Oh my God.
They kept their hand on that blade. Oh,
But
God.
I mean, total value of what they took was. I mean, I bought the whole room, so them stealing a cart was no big thing. And that tape gun, I probably have used it for 7 or 8 years, and it was
Okay.
2 inch, so it wasn't my good tape gun. So I'm glad I only took the 2 inch tape gun because I only have one 3 inch tape gun.
Right. So let's talk about the future. When you buy your next deal like this, is there
Oh well,
anything? Is there anything else? Anything that you would change on how you did this one?
I probably try to buy less because I always buy too much.
Yeah, but you didn't take half the stuff that you could really take, the shelving and the desk and
Well, I wasn't going to take those anyway. But you had to buy that stuff to get the other stuff that you
right.
wanted.
You're still going to make out like a bandit.
Yeah, it's going to be good after I get it all listed and sold.
Get it all out the first day. Yeah, I would think, Lag, that's when you're buying that much stuff, I would, call the Waco three fat guys in a truck and have them loaded up. And, but then you start eating into your profit.
Yeah, big time. And already ate into my profit having to rent the storage unit. Paying that we're probably at the largest amount of folks, around 150 people in there in the auction room.
Were they walking around the building saying, okay, we're auctioning off this room now? And then they walk
No,
in?
they had auction. You can go look at everything starting at 8:30 in the morning.
Right.
And the auction starts at 10 o'clock, and we're all going to sit in chairs in here in the foyer of the school.
Right.
So, so we were, and then they had a screen, they had a big TV set up. So, as the lots went by, they put them up on the screen.
Was there anything that you got outbid on that you were trying to buy? Or did you pretty much win what you were wanting to get?
Yeah, there was another science lab that I didn't get. And the science labs, when you bought one, you got 2 classrooms with the storage hallway in the middle.
Right. Which was that long building that had the refrigerator in it? I mean, long room that had the refrigerators in it?
Yeah, there were
Okay.
2 of that style that I bought. But there was another one that was just as good as stuff that I didn't buy.
Right.
I mean, if I had a 20-person crew and big trucks and heavy duty moving equipment, there's no telling how much money I could have pulled out of that auction. But I'm just not that big of an operation.
Right.
In fact, I'm sure most of y'all are looking at me going, what the hell? You bought way more than you should have.
Well, honestly, yes, you should. I'm gonna say yes. You should have took a U-Haul with you, a truck, and then boxed up everything that you definitely wanted and brought it home with you. And then when you were sitting there nursing your aches and pains and said, "Screw it, I don't want any. I got everything I want." Because, like you said, you got to be a good sized dealer, or you got to have a bunch of boys to go in there and start moving all those desks and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though if it had been Beard would have been in there with the damn crowbar bars ripping cabinets off the wall.
Now, peddling profits in a normal auction, that could have been a thing, but Waco High School is 2-story building and like almost a half-mile long, and all the doors and windows were. Did I tell you about the police using that school for a testing zone for dynamite?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the local Waco Police Department, they went in there and they were practicing their what do you call them? Organized bombs. You stick it on a wall and you blow a hole in cinder block.
Right.
And it even blows through the rebar and stuff.
Right.
And in the science wing, where most of my stuff was, pretty much all the glass in the windows was just blown out, shattered.
Dang.
It's a good thing it was safety glass. Just was all broken in those little pellet-sized things. But there were holes blown in walls. Every single classroom door had been bashed in. Like the police went around and practiced bashing doors with sledgehammers and stuff.
You know what? Honestly, the school district didn't give a damn, because if they had, they would have all that band equipment, all the stands and all chairs and whatnot, that would have been moved to the daggum new high school. So they didn't really care about any of this stuff. And probably they would have just rather pushed it all down and hauled it all to the dump. And then dealing with all you damn cheap ass real resellers.
Well, and I'm sure there's a lot of places that just do that. At least the school district got a little bit of money back for what they
didn't even make enough off of it to probably pay for the damn band room equipment, because those damn stands are expensive.
I know.
And you start doing our band was a small band back in 1976, and we had about 130 kids in our band.
Okay, so the type of music stands, I'm looking at Winger. I know Winger Corporation because I taught band, but hey
Jennifer,
the ones that were in there are listed for $72 a piece. And there were at least 100 music stands, and they went for less than $300 in the auction.
Yeah. And see, what they could have done was they could have had the football team and the basketball team and the baseball team and the soccer team. All those boys could go over there and go inside and grab a couple of stands and take them out to the U-Haul truck where there's a couple of real people that know what the hell they're doing, stacking them in there. And the boys would have got a workout. Instead of having to go mess around in the gym and whatnot, they could have done something creative and got exercise and got worked out.
I got exercise. Did you see my walking chart?
Dang.
Guess which days were? Tuesday was the auction, and I did a bunch of pickup that day. Wednesday was pickup, and Thursday I got over 10,000 steps each of the last 3 days. And that was pushing a heavy cart down these long hallways.
Did you, honey? Todd showed the bar chart from his walking app. The first day, it's just a little bit of red, and then the other days, it's like 10,000 steps a day. So, what does that mean, Todd? You need to do more walking each day?
Well, I walk some, but I don't always have my phone with me when I'm walking. But I did, and when I did the pickup, so
Yeah,
it recorded all those steps while I was walking. Isn't that crazy?
yep.
It does that when we go on like the
Cruises, vacation.
cruises. Yeah. Okay, it says for the last 7 days, your distance walked averaged 2.2 miles a day. But that includes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, which I walked almost 0. So really, I walked 2 miles a day. No.
You did 3 5Ks.
Yeah, I did, I don't know, a whole bunch.
Well, that's the thing about people thinking about old cruises because there's so much food you're going to eat all the time and you're going to come back putting weight on. That's never been the case because the main dining room is at the front of the ship. The showroom is at the front of the ship. The buffet's at the back of the ship. So you're constantly walking back and forth down through this 1,500-foot.
Yeah, you get a lot of good walking on a cruise.
Yeah.
On one of the bigger ships, yeah.
And honestly, we don't eat a lot while we're on a cruise. We pick, we nibble, So anyway, well, it's good that you got a lot of exercise. You had to spend the $1,500 to do it, but you get to sell it too. What happened to dumbass? I mean, excuse me, Scott.
I'm right here.
No, Scott.
I don't know. He got mad at me for leaving for a minute. Boy, he's a vindictive little turd.
He is such a. Is he going through his time of the month or something?
Tactical.
Hey, tactical.
So yeah, chap my ass. All this hard work I'm doing, all the money I spend to buy things to resell. Oh, and one lady came up. She said, "Well, now I teach students, and I really wanted those snakes and pigs and stuff." Said, "I'm sorry, but my son has already taken them and sold them." She said, "Oh," she said, "I would have bought those from you."
So, what did he say when he walked into this place? What were the reaction of people when he walked into this place and said, "I've got this, and that I want to sell. Are you interested?" Did they say, "Let me look at it," or were they?
I don't know. I wasn't there for the conversation.
You were sitting in the truck napping?
No, I was still back at the school loading crap.
When you
he took about an hour and a half break to run in and run to that store and sell that stuff.
Chaz, how many laps?
Lag, you get 13,000 steps. How far is that? That's probably 3 miles. I don't know. Let's see.
I'm trying to see if I can get to. I'm getting ready to throw this thing in the floor. How many steps in? How many miles?
2,000 steps per mile. So if lag is getting 14,000, that means he's getting 7 miles of walking in every day.
Liar. Liar. He's not getting that many steps in unless the refrigerator or the dumb waiter where his mother sends the pancakes down to his basement is at the other end from where he's working.
Yeah, when I'm using the treadmill, I put a YouTube video on my phone and watch. Sometimes I do over 20K.
Jennifer, he alleges it's like 100,000 square foot on 3, and then there's 3 levels. So, good morning, spam. Hola, aloha, ciao, bonjour.
Lag said he's on the 6th level in a underground in a decommissioned ICBM missile.
Yeah. No, it's 35. 3. Damn
3.
lag. Where to keep you all your Oompa Loompas at?
Yeah, when was the last? Well, I don't know, maybe 5 months ago I was walking some on the treadmill.
Right before you went on this last vacation. Because you had to take the clothes off of it to pack up.
No, it's stacked up with inventory now. I got microscopes and robotics stuff on there now.
You going to get all those microscopes listed over the weekend?
Tom, would you, God, stop doing that? You're a pile of shit. Big steamy. You're not cute like that poop emoji. You're just a.
You better be glad Bridget's not driving up in your driveway right now. Because by the end of the weekend, y'all would have all that stuff listed.
Don't join in, lag. I will do some listings, but you know, there's.
Bridget's about to buy. She likes to buy.
There's quite a large amount of processing that's going to have to happen because I'm going to, all these microscopes have to be plugged in and tested and
right. How much work you going to do on them? Like if you turn one on and the light doesn't come on, are you going to get light bulbs and try them, or are you just going to parts?
I don't know. I'll just play it by ear. If I look at a microscope and see that it's worth $100, then sure, I'll spend $5 to get a light for it. But if I look at a microscope and it's only worth $25, I'll just sell it in as is condition, needs a new light, It's just on a case by case basis.
Well, hopefully you'll have like a good many of each brand that are fully functional, and
it's probably a lot like selecting Ukrainian children to adopt.
We really didn't get a chance, or we didn't really select.
You didn't get a choice on who you got to pick?
No, they showed us kids, and that was
but there was more for adoption than you would have the ability to adopt, right?
Yeah, when you go over there, you're pre-approved to adopt so many, and we were pre-approved to adopt 2 children.
Okay.
And what we were wanting a boy and a girl, or that was an option that we were looking at, but we ended up getting the twins, and that's wonderful, and I love them to death, and they drive me damn crazy at times, but we're happy.
Good. That's what children are for.
If
My boys still drive me crazy.
Yeah, mine do too, and mine are 28. It was hard traveling with two little ones like that too, especially when they didn't speak the language. And Vanya's favorite word was "niet."
Yeah.
Niet.
And that means, of course, Daddy.
Right, of course.
So, but yeah, there's going to be a ton of processing with this stuff
Are you going to be doing it by yourself? Gage going to help you?
and research. Nah, he ain't going to help me any.
Gwen going to help you?
He's got his own gig.
Oh, that was
Is
funny.
Gwen going to help me?
I know. I know. I expected, after saying that, I expected the phone to ring here at the house, and you going, Roberta, you need to check on Tom. He's having a stroke.
Last time she helped me with reselling was she brought me like 6 pairs of shoes she doesn't use anymore, and she said, "Why don't you sell these?" Okay, dear.
Well, Jabus, have you been to Pillion, South Carolina? I think that's how it's pronounced. That's the question. I'll come back to it in a minute. The kids didn't know any English. So, we had to work through that. But we kept them well fed, and gave them sweets and things like that. Not a lot of sweets, but we gave them sweets, and that helped the transition.
I know. Our kitchen is busting over with stuff that we just need to sell and get out of here. I counted one time, we got like 60 countertop appliances.
Wow. My aunt lives there, and I was there Wednesday. I noticed a Goodwill as I was headed out of town.
Yeah, Jabus, I think they were pretty much still babies when they got them. They were very young, right?
Yeah, the twins were 2.5 when we got them.
2.5. So that's like, they weren't even talking real well when you got them.
Right. Except for Niet.
Yet.
Niet. It was an amazing experience, and they are amazing kids.
I know, Jabus, we've got toaster ovens, we've got coffee pots, we've got, oh God, waffle makers, we've got air fryers, we've got toasters, we've got crock pots.
And
I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
The last Keurig I bought, I got from Goodwill for $3.99 plus my 25% off for Old People's Day. And when it quits working, I'll pull some parts off of it that sell for fairly decent money, and I'll scrap the rest of it, and I'll go back to Walmart. Go back to Goodwill and get another one. Just on our one Goodwill that's local. Why would anybody go spend $50 for a dadgum coffee pot or $25 for a dadgum toaster when they can go there and get them for near nothing?
We have a mix master, but Gwen uses that. There's no way I'd be able to sell that. Yeah, we got a juicer. We probably have, between the Ninja little one, like the Bullet Ninjas,
right,
and stuff like that, I bet we've got 3 or 4 different types of food processors. Yep, we got a bread maker.
I wish I had one, but our Goodwills never have them. Or our Goodwill, the one near our house, never has them. Because there's times I'd like to have a sandwich. A sandwich. but I don't have any bread. But I always got the ingredients for it. I've never used one. Does the bread taste okay that comes out of them?
A bread making machine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
In your opportunity pile, it's not a debt pile or death pile. It's an opportunity pile. I like that.
So what are you going to do, Jabez? Are you going to sell the mixing part, or are you going to just sell the whole thing together? Yeah, bread machines are awesome if you got the time to.
Well, the ones I've seen, I've
do it.
actually looked at. You just dump everything in it and turn it on, and it mixes it up and bakes it.
Right.
Kids, we're trying to not eat a lot of carbs. We're not on a carb diet or anything, carb free diet. We're just trying to watch the numbers, and so I'm not keeping bread in the house, and but I would like peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Stephen, I'm sure that the cost is pretty close to the same between store-bought bread and making it yourself. But on the kind you make yourself, you can make exactly what you want,
right?
Instead of having to select what you think you might like from the grocery store.
And like right now, we've been talking about bread, and bread makes me want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And to get that, I would have to get in the car and I'd have to drive to Publix, which is closest.
Legs on a seafood diet.
Just mix the dough and bake in the oven. Oh. Jamie says these bread machines make pretty good pizza dough too, honey.
Who's baby Cassian?
His new grandchild.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Cassian. This is like your 12th grandchild, isn't it, Jabez?
Is Jabez our age, or is he younger than us? He can't be a whole lot younger than us because he's a grandpa.
I'm assuming he's 50-ish. 50s. No, he's from South Carolina. He could become a grandpa at 25 years old, the way the South Carolina people work. And I'm from South Carolina, so I can make fun of the people, of my people. 8 pounds, 8 ounces. Born yesterday. Cool. Congrats, Davis. Everything's going good. Olivia's coming home.
You're 58. Jeez. I'm way older than you, James.
Well, I'm getting ready to have my first one, and I hope I have a few more. I'd like to have a granddaughter. It'll be my mom's 10th great-grandchild. She's wanting an even. She'd like to have an even dozen. And Roberta's mom, she went from they went. Roberta's mom and dad had 2 daughters, and then their grandchildren were. They have Oh, they only have one. They have Elizabeth, and then they have 4 grandsons. My 3 and Elizabeth's younger brother Ethan. And now Bobo's going to have 3 great grandsons. Oh, you have a one of each now? Congrats. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that everybody's good. I'm lucky. I'm surprised that I was afraid that by the time I finally had a grandchild, I'd have the shake so bad that they'd never let me hold it.
Wow.
No, Stephen. Now, our home will be open to that child anytime. Because my daughter-in-law's a nurse, and my son's he's a laboratory manager for the hospital authority. And so they work some weird-ass hours. So Roberta's already told my daughter-in-law, Angela, she said, now, anytime y'all tired and y'all just need to rest, all you got to do is call, and I'll send Tom over to get him. So that's the reason I said the other day on the show, I got to find a car. I got to buy a car seat because I ain't doing all this switching back and forth. I hear those things will make you drink, trying to get them hooked down. Like, you need to give Todd some grandchildren since you claim to be one of his offspring. But then again, Mr. Sadie claims to be one of his offsprings, and he's got like 5 kids and a half a dozen grandchildren, I think. So Todd's already a great grandpa.
Bum, bum, bum.
How old is she, Jabus, your granddaughter?
Oh man, Sandy. She passed out for 2 minutes. That's kind of scary.
Oh, Chastity has joined the offspring. Dang, Todd.
Yeah, I adopted Chastity as soon as Nashville was over.
That was a lot of fun.
Chastity's like sister. Yeah, think about that, Chastity.
Oh, that's
You may not want to be my daughter anymore if Lag's got to be your brother.
Yeah. So you're going to finish sorting through your stuff this weekend and maybe do a little listing, relax, try to
No,
rest.
I won't finish sorting through in a weekend.
Well, you didn't get that many things, did you?
Didn't you see how much crap I got?
You got a few microscopes, and that's right, you got that box full of robotic stuff.
Oh my God.
And you got the box of you got another box of some kind of robotic looking stuff, or they were in little boxes.
Oh, we offended Lag. Sorry,
What?
Lag. Don't go pout and sit in the corner of your basement.
Yeah. That's right. Chastity, she's a Southern girl. She'll just whoop the hell out of that younger brother. Oh, Lord. So your storage building full?
No, the first day when the auction ended, I loaded the pickup, but I didn't have the storage unit yet, so I piled it in the carport. And then Wednesday's haul, yeah, that's when we put some stuff in there. And then yesterday's haul, it's all still loaded in the cars. I brought home a couple of shelving units. I got to assemble them and put them up in the storage unit.
No, the microscopes were just like they showed. They were like out on shelves with, some of them had covers on them, some of them didn't.
Right.
So there's no boxes or anything like that.
Nope.
So you're going to need to put them back up under some kind of cover or something.
Yeah, they'll all sit in the storage unit till I get to them. Good thing about stuff like that, the heat of the Texas summer won't affect it much.
Well, heat's usually not good on electronics. Cold.
Yep, the only electronics on the microscopes pretty much are lights.
Right. Okay.
A couple of the microscopes have an attachment that you can connect it to a computer
Mm-hmm.
and like show what you're looking at up on a screen.
Right.
But most of them are standard microscopes.
Yeah, but for what they're used for, it's not like they got to be top of the line or whatnot.
But these are school equipment. They're way better equipment than like what you get in your first microscope
Lab kit.
play set,
Right.
when you're little.
Did you see any? Jay was asking if there was overhead projectors or overhead projector styles. Did you see any overhead projectors, or have they phased them things out 100 years ago?
No, there were no overhead projectors in any of it. We did get a bunch of glass, all the different beakers and
Right.
vials and cups with the measurements on them. Are those
Right.
things worth anything? And
I don't
they're
know.
pretty much all Pyrex.
Right. Did you get any slides?
No, just a few.
I was wondering with all the daggone microscopes whether they had any. You got any boxes of slides?
Let's see.
I had this really cool science teacher in high school.
Got like 3 boxes of test tubes unused.
A couple of the guys was horse playing in lab one day and knocked she had set up like a shoebox size of those clean slides on the corner of a lab, and they started playing around, and they ended up knocking that thing off, shattering all of those, or shattering quite a few of those glass slides. And she said you could tell she was pissed off. She told this girl that was sitting at the back of the class, she said, "Shut the door." And when that door shut, she started talking to those 2 boys that would nowadays would be lawsuits, these kids in therapy for the next 20 years. I mean, she read them the riot act. She was cool though. Later on, a couple of days later, she said, "I should apologize for my language and my attitude." But she said, "No, I don't think I am. I'm not sorry for a thing I said." Yeah, they sold the critters. So Todd, between the critters And the toner, you're down to about $1,000, even though you still got to include. You got said you were going to give Gage a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
And there was some gasoline involved.
Yeah.
Of course, that's tax deductible, I guess. But
Right.
oh, I found another box of toner.
Oh, did you?
Minolta something.
Was it all black and white or all black? All
And
black and
it's
white.
like a $75 toner.
Wow, that's nice.
So yeah, just tons of stuff.
Have you done any kind of estimates of what you think you can make off of it, or have you not really looked?
Oh my God.
You haven't really looked at.
I have at least 50 microscopes. If I get 20 a piece, take home pay. What's 50 times 20?
1,000.
1,000. Yeah, I figure the microscopes will pay for everything I bought. And then there's all the robotics and all of this and all of that.
Yeah, I hope you make some coin off of that robotic stuff.
I think some of it's kind of outdated, or not. I mean, it's still usable, but it's like past generation.
Well, people have got little kids that's wanting to get into messing around with robotics and stuff like that, or big kids, or even lag, just wanting to mess with robotics. They're a little outdated is okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we probably saw lag in one of those episodes of Robot Wars.
Yeah, probably no. Let's talk about the fluorescent bulbs. I think fluorescent bulbs are going to be like toothpick.
Oh, I didn't give much for those. I think I gave $15 for the whole pallet of fluorescent bulbs. I got to mess with them sometime too. They're probably already going to go into storage too. Heck's a test tube baby.
Well, since Gage is your little salesperson, maybe you ought to get him to make some calls to some of these electrical supply places and see if they're interested in any fluorescent tubes. Tell him you give him a cut of it. Because who uses, I mean, I guess people have them in their shops and whatnot.
Yeah, I have fun getting out a tote and just breaking all those up and sealing up the tote and throwing it away. That'll be some more exercise I'll get someday.
They're the long ones, right? Like 5-6 feet long. I mean, I don't know how long those things are.
The longest ones I have fit the 4-foot fixtures.
Okay. I just turned and looked, and Roberta's sitting like right there, and Roxy has come to pay her a visit. And when I looked over there a few minutes ago, she wasn't there, so she's making her rounds. Anywho, well, Todd, I'm glad this is behind you. You can kind of relax a little bit and try to get some stuff.
Jabez, I got them all. I got TH, T12, T10, T2. I don't know what all. I got all kinds of different ones.
You'll
I'll probably just take a picture of the pile and say, put it on Facebook Marketplace and say, if you need one, 50 cents a bulb or something, come get them. Or just take them all for $100, something, I don't know.
You got a bunch of them, right? Correct?
It's not anything like I bought this week, but yeah,
No.
I got a
No.
pretty good stack of them.
Okay, because I got to go. Final thought. What is one thing that you had to leave that you wish you could have gotten?
I guess those shelving units,
the ones that were bolted together.
the metal, just standard 6 foot by 4 foot by 2 foot.
Right.
Because those always sell.
And you could use it for a while.
Golly, there were probably but you'd have to tear them all down, and some of them were bolted at the tops and bottoms. So it would have been, I did bring home 2 sets of shelves, but they were the easy take apart and put together type.
Right.
But I bet I left behind $300-400 worth of shelves. If you look at auction places and stuff, if they're shelving for sale, a standard 4 foot wide, 2 foot deep, and 6 foot tall. At auction, those go for like $20 a piece. And I bet I left behind 15 of them. So there was like $300. I just abandoned and left it.
Well, you could only do so much without incurring more time. Without having to hire help or get trucks or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my lights are LED that I put in here a couple of years ago.
I replaced the lights in our hallway with LED lights. And the ones in it was the originals from 1974 when this place was built. And this morning I was putting some towels away in the hall closet, the linen closet. And about the time Roberta was coming out of our bedroom, I turned the hall lights on. And it went from, just the lights from the different bedrooms and we have lights. I mean, it was just such a big difference. But I like them because I'm old and I just like to have lots of light when I'm doing stuff.
Let's see what those shelves go new on the Home Depot. Let's see. Shelving units. Garage storage shelves. I guess. So a muscle rack goes for $169. Sheesh.
A what?
They call it a muscle rack. Here's a metal shelf that. Here, I'll just share real quick.
Okay.
Shelving is expensive. God.
It is.
I probably should have tried to take some more of that home, but I was tired and let's see, where'd it go? See, I brought one of these home yesterday.
Wait a minute. Oh, wow. You can use that in your office too, can't you?
There's no room in here for more shelves.
Well, if you would take it out and then put the shelves in and put your stuff in boxes and set them on the shelf, and be sure and label them BOX1 till, to whatever. Yeah, that's a 6 shelf. Those are expensive.
Yeah, I brought one of those home, and I brought home another one that's like it's the same size. It's kind of like this one. Wait, where'd it go?
That one with the wood.
Kind of like that one.
Okay, those were nice too.
So I brought one of these home and one of those other ones home. And look, this one's 169 at Home Depot.
Dang.
So, but there were. See, these got the little slots on them that they just fit together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are cool. And you can also make it like a work table out of it too.
And after I'm through with the storage unit, yeah, I'll probably clear out space in here to put them up in here.
Right. Okay, I got to go. Y'all have a great weekend. Todd, thanks for the show.
So yeah, Craig, even at $100 a piece, used ones would still go for like $25 probably.
Yeah.
I just left them. I mean, there's just so much I could take out of there.
Yeah, you only had so much time and only so much help, and so. All right, I gotta go. Y'all have a great day.
All right, folks. Thanks a lot. Have a good weekend. We'll see you. See you when we see you, huh?
Yeah, Monday. I don't know whether Todd. I don't know whether Scott's having a show tonight or not. So anyway, all right. Bye.
Bye.